Yeah, so that concludes the news stories for today, and we can go ahead into the AMA section, and we will go to brieriedriere's question in regards to what is my take on Apple's AR glasses. So basically, Apple's planned product will be a XR product. So it will be a combination of augmented reality and virtual reality. And we discussed that actually last week. Let me quickly check. Where do I have the article? Let me just go to the browser again, so I'm on my blog again. Yeah, here it is. So only last week we discussed Apple's XR headset, since there are some more details on that. Mainly that the OS on it will probably be called Reality OS, and it will be a beast of a headset, since you can see here, according to renowned analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, the headset will feature two M1 style M1 silicon chips. That is a lot of power crammed into a wearable and portable headset. So that is a lot of power. So basically, you can think of this setup being you have one M1 chip per eye driving the headset. So that's nuts. Especially since you can expect this probably not being the M1 anymore, but probably being the upcoming M2 architecture already. So yeah, that is definitely a powerful set of XR goggles, you can say. And where was it? Yeah, here. Also, Bloomberg's analyst Mark Gurman reported that Apple wants to create a app store for the headset with a focus on gaming, streaming video content, and video conferencing. So you also have this metaverse aspect again. So that headset will be very interesting, but it will be pricey as well. It is rumored to also be around 2,000 US dollars, which is not surprising me with these kinds of specs. You can already presume that Apple will have pretty good displays in that headset, which will not be cheap. So probably either it will be AMOLED screens or mini LED screens, but I presume Apple will go for AMOLED here, since they want to have the best black levels and so on, and combined with the chips that are presumed to be in there, this will be a beast of a headset. It will be really, really powerful compared to what you're getting right now. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Apple does with it. I am not sure if I would be getting one. Even myself being definitely way into the Apple ecosystem, yeah, because what you're watching right now is basically uh, streamed and hosted on an M1 Max MacBook Pro. And yeah, I'm very well into the ecosystem. Also due to Apple's support for visually disabled people, so visually impaired people. Sorry, and therefore um, this is something that I definitely would be interested in, but I'm not sure if I would really get one depending on how the evolution is. So probably not the first gen device, but perhaps later on when they are in the second gen, when the app market has evolved, that could definitely be a possibility for me as well. So Apple definitely knows how to spool up a new ecosystem. They did it with the iPhone, they did it with the iPad, and they did it with the Apple Watch. So the XR space is now their fourth ecosystem that they are spooling up. So they have experience in that, and there are enough people who just blindly buy every Apple product generation that is out there. I have to say, if I would have had real alternatives to the Apple products, I would be open to switching definitely. But there are always minor, especially minor things that are, for at least for me, disruptive to my particular workflow. And that's why I, even through the past couple of years with the very limiting hardware designs from Apple in regards to their lineup, I stuck to that. And I am hopeful with the direction where Apple is going at the moment, but I'm not 100% on board with everything they do at the moment. So I would, especially since we started the discussion in today's episode with the announcement from Valve to supply replacement parts for the Steam Deck and the Valve Index through iFixit and collaborating with them and potentially other partners. In that light, I would like to see more options also on Apple's part to make parts interchangeable again and making repairability better. And tying back to the news story in regards to the SSD issues, perhaps sticking to standard NVMe with well-known standard controllers is not such a bad idea. Not only getting better data integrity, but also getting support for customer replaceable or and upgradable drives back, which would be a nice thing, since if your MacBook or basically any current generation Mac, it doesn't matter if it's Intel based or ARM based, if it breaks, your data is basically lost. Back in 2016, when Apple first introduced the MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, they had special ports on the logic boards for data retrieval from the onboard SSDs in case of the motherboard breaking at some point, other than the SSD portion itself. But these ports were already gone in the 2017 iteration. And that's not something I can condone, because Um, Sorry for the phrasing, but shit happens. And data is integral to be retrieved. And if you have a separate drive that you can take out and take to a recovery shop, they can help you. You cannot do that with the soldered on SSDs that Apple is shipping at the moment. That is just not possible. So if you don't have a current time machine backup or general backup of the data that you have on your machine, it is you're screwed then. That's my take on the whole Apple headset, and a bit more into the SSD story and right to repair. But I think this is a major topic right now. So right to repair, and a lot of companies are putting more and more credibility to it and following a more eco-friendly and consumer-friendly strategy. And I hope that this will get more and more down the road. And so, and of course, we discussed at an earlier episode Apple's self-service repair strategy that they're rolling out for iPhones and Macs in the next couple of years. And it's it's complicated how they're doing it, and it's not really consumer friendly, and it's more likely that consumers don't do it themselves, but they have to still go to repair shop, and the repair shop has to take up the slack behind it. So it's not ideal, and I would like to see a more open approach like Valve is now doing with iFixit. And there is still hope, but we'll have to wait what comes out of it. WWDC, or as it is called in the Apple circles, WWDC, which is Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference. It is normally in early June. That will be pretty interesting. I expect actually news on the Apple VR XR headset in June at the conference. Since there are all, besides the hints in the software, there's also now a beta. I don't even know if it's already in the latest Safari. There is basically, at least in the beta version, WebXR support now in Safari. So there are signs on the horizon that the Apple XR headset is not far out anymore. So, as I said last episode, my guess is that we will see the headset unveiled in June, and that there will be a developer kit available, probably at WWDC, so that developers can start developing for the headset, and then you can expect the actual release of the headset to consumers within a year. If Apple would be able to do it, I presume that they would release it before the holiday season of this year. So showcasing it in June and releasing it in November, that would be an option. But that would mean we would be probably getting a very product heavy developer conference this year. So the new Apple Silicon based Mac Pro is also expected at WWDC, and it normally also is announced there and then available for shipping in the fall. So that would be the same scenario. And since normally WWDC is a more software and development focused conference, since they normally announce the next iOS and the next macOS there, it would make this a bit different. But of course, showing the headset at WWDC makes sense, since they would be opening up the next SDK trail for Reality or OS or ROS or whatever it will be called. But Reality OS, I think, is a pretty good name for it, and I think that will be the name that we will see when it is presented. So I expect Reality OS to make its debut at WWDC in June.